Hey guys, Dr. Jake Dodds here with the newest episode of the Quantum Chiropractors podcast. Now, today we're getting into an interesting topic that has been talked a lot about, but I still feel like it's largely misunderstood. But we all need to know more about it because it affects all of us. The topic is EMF, electromagnetic frequencies. Now, the interesting part about electromagnetic frequencies is they exist everywhere. It's part of Earth's natural cycle. So with no machines, no technology, there is EMFs all throughout our galaxy, around planet Earth. And so it's one of those things where it's been like, EMFs, a lot of people talk about it like they're the worst things ever kind of thing. But again, the languaging gets thrown off because electromagnetic frequencies are part of living in the physical universe. So to get that straight right off the bat, we need to know that they're all around us. So EMF in itself is not a bad thing. So here's where the confusion happens, or here's where we need to dig a little bit deeper, is that about 50 years ago, it started coming on the scene more and more. Past 25 years, it's been skyrocketing. In the past 5 or 10 years, exponentially increasing. So what's happening is we've had things like Wi-Fi show up. We've had all these increases in wireless and cellular technology. And it's amazing, right? We can send information across the entire world in an instant of a second with no wires. Like, it's absolutely incredible what's happening, right? So from a technological perspective, absolutely incredible. The thing that people are starting to ask more of and recognizing more is, okay, so we're human beings that operate with bioelectric frequencies. When we're sending nerve impulse, it happens over electrical impulse that happens through our nerves. Our cells themselves have things called voltage-gated channels. And so our bodies are really set up to interact with and utilize electricity, voltage, electromagnetic frequencies. So with so many people sick, with so many people not feeling well, with so many people struggling with mood dysregulation, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, again, people are starting to look around and be like, okay, what else is going on here? Because a lot of people feel like they're doing a ton of things right and they're still really feeling not great. EMF is one of the things right at the top of the list. So with all these technological advances, what's happening is the signals are getting better and better, and they're also getting more and more powerful. So tens of thousands of times more powerful than anything we'd find naturally occurring on planet Earth. So again, from a technological perspective, really good. But what they're finding is, in many ways, this is hitting the human body harder and harder and taking more and more of a toll. So a couple quick examples. I already kind of alluded to it a little bit, but a lot of our cells have something called voltage-gated channels. So our cells, kind of like a wall that has like doors or gates in it, right? Like for the most part, you want to have a sealed container, but there's things that the cell needs to get rid of, and there's things that the cell needs to bring in order to stay healthy and do its job. So one of the ways it does that, it has voltage-gated channels. So usually we get like electrical impulses, and cells can even talk to each other. So our body has a lot of internal electricity with it, and it can use that to communicate. And so when a cell's in a certain environment where there's a certain amount of voltage, certain channels will open up. So for example, there's a calcium-gated channel in a lot of cells in your body. So what happens though is if we're getting these strong blasts of electromagnetic frequencies coming from the outside, it confuses the electricity of our body, and it starts doing things that weren't necessarily initiated by the body itself. So these calcium-gated channels are a great example. Usually they're only opening up when the body is sending its own internal electricity to open up the channels. When we have these big blasts, the calcium channels just kind of like fly open. Like the voltage is so intense, it confuses everything. The gates fly open. So all of a sudden we have calcium leaving, things entering when it wasn't necessarily initiated by the body or wanted by the body. So this is where a lot of people's bodies end up confused, depleted of important minerals, and not communicating with themselves correctly. And as you can imagine, over the months and years, that can really create a lot of confusion in the body at the cellular level. And as our body is made up of cells, having your cells being healthy is a very important part of being healthy overall. So that's one of the examples that comes up. And again, we're inundated with this day in and day out. A lot of people's bodies never ever get a break from the external EMFs. So we have Wi-Fi in our house. We're sleeping with our cell phone right next to our bed. So the important thing in my mind is that we understand the game that we're playing. So what I mean by that is understanding that these artificial electromagnetic frequencies do ultimately have an effect on our body is important to recognize. And then you can take that as far as you want to or as little as you want to, but at least knowing that it's a game to play is important. So it'd be like if you had no idea that eating chocolate cake every single day was bad for you, then that would be really frustrating if you just kept eating chocolate cake and feeling like crap and not understanding any connection between the two. Same thing here. Like some people tend to be more sensitive, and if you've been sick or fatigued for a long period of time, you're probably more in that category. So some people notice a huge difference when they start doing things with this. Other people maybe not as noticeably symptomatic with these things around. But again, it's something to play with and see what works best for you and your body. I think the best way to start is nighttime, because your body is doing almost all of its healing and repairing while you're sleeping. So giving your body a break and that opportunity to reset without all this intense artificial EMFs coming in towards your body, again, I think is a really wonderful place to start. And it can be as easy as starting with, one, just unplugging your Wi-Fi at night. So right before you go to bed, just unplug your box. That's a super easy way to start, really easy way to do it. If you like that, you can continue down your path. You can buy something on Amazon called a kill switch, which is essentially just a remote control thing that you plug into your outlet that turns it on or off. So then if you're laying down to go to bed at night, for example, you can just pick up your remote, click off, and it will turn off your Wi-Fi box for you. So that's another great example. There's also timers that you can put on your outlet, just like for your Christmas lights. You can set it to be on or off at a certain time of day, and it will turn on and off automatically. So those are all great options just to not have that thing in your home that's designed to blast out electromagnetic frequencies. Another really easy thing you can do, just not have your phone right next to your bed, or make sure it's on airplane mode when you're going to bed. Same thing, our devices are designed to send and receive these electromagnetic frequencies, and so not having that right next to your face and your important neurology as you're going to bed, really easy, really simple way to get started. So again, if nothing else, I wanted you to understand that EMFs are part of our world. They're not going away, but there is things that we can do to at least appreciate how that's affecting the human body. And if you feel like it is affecting your body, then there's things you can do to help mitigate those things. So stay tuned for future episodes. This is our first overview and touch point on this topic. So I wanted to give you that, and let me know if you have any questions, but looking forward to talking to you more on this. Thanks, guys.